Hi, and welcome back to my Lender Lounge, where I'm talking today with Sara Elkinton from Movement Mortgage once again. And today we're going to be talking about the cost of waiting, right? Because everybody knows that the interest rates are high right now, and a lot of buyers are like, peace, I'm out. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Maybe the conditions will be better in a couple years. Maybe rates will come down and it'll be more affordable for me to buy a house at that time, right? So we're going to talk about whether or not that's true, and what those numbers actually look like today. So I brought Sara here because she is a numbers expert, and she's going to walk us through what that looks like.
Yeah. So, and I'm getting that a lot from clients now too. Well, what if I just wait until the interest rates go down? And from just a pure numbers perspective, if you take a $500,000 house now and assume 5% down and compare it in 2 years, that home price is going to go up. For this estimate, we're using 10%, which Samantha agrees is pretty
Because
reasonable.
that's 5% per year
Yeah.
appreciation, which is well below the median for our area, which is we're talking about a Bellingham marketplace, right?
Yeah, so even a little bit conservative.
Yeah, it is conservative.
And we're just assuming that the rates are going to be 1% lower. So we don't know for sure. I have no crystal ball. That'd be
Okay.
really rad if I did. But we're just going to assume 10% appreciation over 2 years and a 1% lower interest rate.
That sounds like a reasonable scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what we found is that the payments on those scenarios are basically the same. So just looking at it from that singular perspective, there's really no reason not to wait, because your payments are going to be the same and you're going to pay, less interest over the life of the loan with that lower interest rate. However, when you're looking at it from that perspective, you're missing one of the main points of owning a home, which is that equity that you're building. And what we found when we looked at the numbers is that by waiting those 2 years, you're actually missing out on $60,000 worth of equity.
Wow.
Through home appreciation and also paying your mortgage down, right? So then, and you're also not in that higher interest rate forever. You can refinance. So then if we add that to the mixture as well, let's say you refinance at that same time somebody else is now buying for the first time, so you're refinancing to that lower interest rate off of your much lower loan balance. You can shave another $300 off your payment. So now your payments aren't equal. You now have $60,000 more in equity, and you can lower your monthly payment to $300. So you really can't just compare it from that first initial perspective that we talked about. You really got to get down in the numbers and find out what's actually going on there and all of the other benefits of buying sooner. And the main one is the appreciation and then just the ability to refinance later.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you're saying that the monthly payment is going to be pretty much on par with this scenario we've got of 10% appreciation over 2 years, and a 1% decrease in the rate. But you're missing out on the appreciation, and then we're also missing out on tax benefits,
And just the
right?
fact that you can simply refinance to lower your interest rate. And in that calculation for refinancing, I did also build in assuming your loan amount is going to go up for $5,000 for the cost of refinancing. So I did factor that into that too.
Mm-hmm. I think one more thing to factor in is market conditions when rates do decrease. I think what we're going to, of course, see is more buyers entering the marketplace, which is probably going to make prices go up a little bit higher than 5% a year,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
And then it's also going to make it just a more competitive marketplace,
I
which
think
means,
I do think that when we see rates come down, under 6, I think it's honestly going to be a frenzy, because I've heard so many people talking about waiting until the rates come down. But you can see from this deeper analysis is that you're putting yourself in a worse position by waiting. And even if you do buy now and you want to wait a couple of years to buy, sweet, do that. Now you've got equity and you can sell your home, and now you've got an extra $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to work with for your next property. Like, it's brilliant.
yeah. So it's all really great information, especially if you're a buyer who is thinking about whether you want to buy now or if you want to wait. And everybody's situation is going to be different. So give us a call and let's talk about your situation. And Sarah's got all these great calculators that can help us figure out, what's going to make sense. So let's be educated and armed with knowledge as we go through this market and decide what we're going to do. All right. See you next time on the Lender Lounge.